The brilliant Alfred Hitchcock was far ahead of his time, managing to leave a legacy for audiences in suspense as well into the new millennium. It is only right to bring his works to life on stage. Let's welcome Beth Curley, creative director for Charleston Stage, and Kameron Rojas-Schueneman, who will be starring as Richard Hannay in the adaptation of The 39 Steps. Great to have you both with us. And when you think of Alfred Hitchcock, you think of The Birds, Psycho, Vertigo. I had never heard of The 39 Steps. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about what the premise of the film was before we dive into the actual stage.
Oh, sure. So The 39 Steps is basically, it's based on a spy novel. So encompasses a story. There's a man by the name of Richard Hannay, who Kameron plays, and he gets caught in this, spy thriller kind of story of espionage. Unmistaken to him, he, I guess wasn't expecting to be caught up in the story. So the comedy around it is just kind of traveling with him as an audience member to see him encounter all of these characters and, kind of save the day.
It's really interesting. So in preparation for this interview, I did watch The 39 Steps, and it was released in 1935. So that black and white, very dark and very suspense, thrilling kind of a story, very classic to Alfred Hitchcock. So when you talk about turning it into a comedy, they don't necessarily, it doesn't correlate right away. So tell me about the character that you're playing and how you're able to bring laughs to the story.
100%, yeah. So the very first place that I started as well was watching that 1935 film. I also was not familiar with it. And you'll see when you watch it, the acting styles in a Hitchcock movie or in that age of cinema is very easy to spoof or parody, I would say. So really just hyperbolizing and over-exaggerating all these things that made this piece so classic at the time, I think really makes it a silly watch.
When you think about it, I mean, you could do that with the birds too.
Yeah.
Birds flying all in your hair. And with the stage play, though, there are many characters played by very few people. How do you do that? And tell me to what extent that looks like.
So please, Kameron. We've got 4 actors that are on stage, and they play over 100 characters.
How do you do that?
It's a lot of quick changes, right?
So you're actually doing costume changes?
Costume changes on stage. You'll see them jumping in and out of character, sometimes going back to a previous character within seconds.
That's talent.
I think that's what makes the play so intriguing. It's very inventive. So it's just one big wild roller coaster ride for audiences. You're watching these actors, take you on this wild ride, tell these stories. They're running across on the tops of trains. They're running from airplanes. And the most inventive thing I think about this play, it's a very minimal set. So a lot of the action has to take place with what the characters are portraying. The lighting. They're pulling trunks together to make them into train stations and hotels.
And hanging off of a bridge.
It makes that so much intriguing, I think, for audiences. It's just
so much creativity when you really have to, when you pare things down so much and you really are forced to dive so deep into creating a scene with little to nothing at all, yet the audience knows exactly what it is you're trying to portray. Are you playing more than one character?
I'm not. I play just Richard, but I'll be in a scene with actors who have 6 costumes in their hands and are changing all the time.
So you lucked out on this one.
Yes, I did.
You did. That just sounds exhausting too. You must be so taxed by the end of a performance.
100%, yeah.
Right? And let's talk about the costumes a little bit too, because it is portraying. So it is set in 1935. It's still in the 30s. So the costumes also play a huge role. And they're a character among themselves. So tell us a little bit more about sort of the design of costumes and.
Right. Well, definitely our costume designer wanted to pay respect to those classic spy films. Definitely pay respect to Alfred Hitchcock. So you'll see the actors definitely wearing those style from those time periods.
Very dignified.
What's so cool is you can see them changing in and out of those costumes on stage. So you may have an actor that'll throw a coat to him and one of the characters becomes someone else. And I think that's what makes it so so fun for audiences because you can just really be like, who are they becoming next? Where are they taking this guy?
Yes.
This new scene. And they're creating these scenes. They're like rolling doors and
That sounds wonderful.
really fun
What do
stuff.
you hope audiences take away from this performance?
I would say personally that this is something the playwright talked about too, but under all this crazy zaniness that happens, it is a human story, it's a love story, and I just hope that audiences are having the time of their life and laughing, but also able to see through all of it to get the true meaning of why we're doing the show and why it's important.
That's fantastic. Well, Kameron and Beth, thank you so much for joining us. The 39 Steps, it is running January 22nd through February 9th, and this is at Dock Street Theater, also historic theater, so it's like the perfect place to have it.
Perfect place.
Make sure you get your tickets. We'll be back after this.